It might be hard to recall, but there was once a time when the president was a criminal. A time when the police would attack people without good cause. A time when an overtly racist group openly embraced Jim Crow and expected public legitimacy. I know it seems far-fetched, but try to suspend your disbelief.
You know, I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacists.
It's the 1970s. Ron Stallworth, John David Washington, was the first African-American officer in the Colorado Springs Police Department. He notices a local chapter of the Ku Klux Klan is recruiting and calls up with an eye to infiltrating the group. Stallworth contacts members of the Klan, including David Duke, Topher Grace, via the phone, then has his partner, Flip Zimmerman, Adam Driver, meet with them when a face-to-face is required. The resulting story is at times very funny, at times very engaging, and at all times very poignant. This is a film by Spike Lee, who as a filmmaker has gotten better with age. His craft has become more focused, honed, and consequently much more nuanced than his earlier works. BlacKkKlansman may be his best work yet. I have two noteworthy issues with this movie that prevent me from giving it a full 5 stars. The first is that at 2 hours and 15 minutes, the story feels stretched thin. The other issue is a far more serious one. The film has very clear modern-day parallels, but rather than just laying those parallels down on the audience in due course, he spends the ending hitting the audience over the head with them. Essentially, the nuance that I just gave him credit for only applies to 99% of the movie. In other words, it's a great movie with a cringe-worthy ending. Treating the audience like an incoherent idiot is one of the cardinal gaffes that identify poorly made movies. Fortunately, the majority of this film is insightful. It shows both the humor and the horror that groups like the KKK can incite. One moment, you are laughing at the raw stupidity on display. The next, you find yourself aghast that these idiots righteously believe in their own stupidity and will seek to carry out their view of the right thing in monstrous ways. If I could give Mr. Lee one humble piece of advice, you are an amazing filmmaker and a storyteller capable of transporting the audience. Therefore, you should trust in your audience and in your own abilities to get the point across. The fans of your films almost certainly will understand, while the people who won't aren't going to be seeing your films anyway. On the offhand chance that these non-fans see one of your films, the point will have more impact when they get there on their own. Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page.